a middle belton because of politics or any other kind of promises given to him by these Fulani terrorist sympathizers, their elites, and others who claim to be northerners in this regard, right? But their their concern is mostly for Fulani or Hausa. In truest, in reality, Kere, Hausa can't wait to actually have their own pound of flesh on Fulanis in reality. So no matter how much promise they make you as a middle belton to coerce you into an idea of a one north, you will never be a northerner. You are a middle belton, and you all know that when Deborah was killed, right, there are still many of them who carries a very, very bitter sort of, hatred. Have you read the comments of some of these guys on social media when they are talking about Deborah? Abba, have you read the comments anytime to look at some of these jihadist northerners in the comment section, whether on Facebook or on Twitter? And they are all talking about the roles that those murderers actually really played in mobbing Deborah. There are so many of them that when you read what they type, you will know that they will do it again and again and again. And if by the context of Dalong being a man from Plateau States, from the middle belt part of Nigeria, if in the context of him being a northerner is true, right? That means whether you are a Christian or a Muslim, right? So you would be protected and be fought for by the concerned citizens. You would think, right? But we all know that is not true. So because they call you to their Arewa Consultative Forum meeting, from the middle belt or a Christian, you are an infidel. You are not a northerner. So yeah, we have the younger generation who actually knows that, the veil is off, the lies is old, or the lies is, the lies are busted right now. So it doesn't really work that easy on them anymore. And we hope it stays that way, because that is how we are going to save a lot of generations from this failed contraption. Because once we have enlightened generations from across board who can no longer be lied to in protecting and defending a failed system that is put together to actually kill them. You know what we say about Nigeria and the guys in charge of Nigeria? They have turned Nigeria into a destructive sort of weapon. And that's why we say Nigeria, with these guys and to all of us, is a weapon fashioned against us, physically and spiritually. That is what they have done, So when we have a generation that now understands, the basic reason why this contraption, it is what it is, and they've seen the lives before them destroyed, they will have an idea. So they will probably be in the same boat with us. Say, you know what, why not just discontinue this whole contraption? It's never for us anyway, and it can work. So 2 days ago, there was this report that the Supreme Court of Nigeria ruled. We're talking about political parties now, Labour Party, right? The Supreme Court ruled that the convention had been a Congress that produced Julius Abure as the chairman of Labour Party last year is set aside, null and void. The court had no jurisdiction. So what happened? Let me give you the timeline, okay? It was said after the 2023 charade, and Labour Party made so much money, like they actually made over 10 billion naira in that space of the obedient movement wave. It was massive, seriously. So then they started accusing themselves of financial mismanagement, financial impropriety, and stuff, corruption. So in that process again, they got broken into different parts. You remember Lamidiot, Apampas, as well as Arababidiot, those two clowns, right? Long story. Anyway, somehow, after that election, they, like a miracle, right? Arababidiot, Lamidiot, Apampas, these two march with, Julius Abure, by the way, and they resolved their issue. The issue of money disappeared, but it was around that time, again, from the dust of corruption allegation against Abure, that he sometimes, or most times, had to take money from the Labour Party, transfer the money to his girlfriend, his wife, or some other guys, only for them to now transfer the money somewhere else. Kind of like part of the old corruption. So Obi, as well as Alex Otti at the time, this was last year, said they were going to try and reform Labour Party for a future party standard, blah, 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 blah. And that simply means that Abure must go. His term has lapsed. Abure disagreed. He decided to organize with those members of the executive that were with him and the new ones to replace those ones that were not with him, okay? So Abure decided to organize his own Congress, which the likes of Otti, Obi, and others felt like was unconstitutional. So long story short, Abure conducted his own Congress. He was declared winner, that he is now on a second term as chairman. Meanwhile, Obi, Otti, and others, this new, PDP, Labour Party guys, decided to appoint a caretaker committee that would then conduct the party congress to choose the party leadership in that order. So that was the beginning of litigation. So what happened? Abure went to court to challenge any caretaker committee whatsoever. So the court ruled, right, that Abure, I think I can't really pinpoint anymore, okay, but what I understand is so the court said that Abure, okay, Abure's Congress was legit. So in that regard, they went to the appeal court. Appeal court said Abure's Congress was legit, therefore Abure was chairman. And Nenadi Usman, who is supposed to head their caretaker team that will usher in the repositioning of Labour Party for 2027, blah, 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 right? That she is illegal. That is what led to Supreme Court. Now, Supreme Court judgments, which we have the audio kind of version right now, I'm going to play it for you. You're going to listen to what did the Supreme Court actually say. What did they say? So, it was the Nenandi Usman's group who appealed the appeal judgment to Supreme Court. So they are the appellants. While Abure, they instituted the case in the first place, became defendant. Sure you get now, I think, right? So when the Supreme Court dropped its ruling, part of what it said, which I'm going to play for you, right, was that normally, right, internal party organization should be conducted based on their party constitution, okay? This shouldn't even be a case of the court. And therefore, they ruled out that, you see, the primary court, the high court, as well as the appeal court that ruled on the matter, which ruled in favor of Abure, right? They had no jurisdiction. And therefore, Supreme Court now said, is set aside their ruling. What was their ruling? Their ruling was that Abure's Congress was legit and Abure is the chairman. So if Supreme Court says is not right, it's been set aside, that means Abure is not chairman. Abi? Anyway, it should be that straightforward though. But Abure's people believes that that is not true. What the Supreme Court said is different. But here is what they lead the judgment. Reading it.
See the OCAF. Yes. Most humbly appeal for the appellants. Thank you, my lord. Yes.
My lord, most respectfully,
Yes.
I am Kehinde Edu,
Yes.
appearing with O.V. Akowe and President Dibia.
Yes.
My lord, we are for the first respondent.
Yes.
This honorable public. My name is Chief Samson. With the kind permission, I'm holding the brief of IG Waru for the second respondent.
Yes. Judgment. A panel of 5 that consisted of Manana brothers John Ian Okoro JSC, Heli Moro KG Ogumidu JSC, Tijani Abubakar JSC, Haruna Simon Samani JSC, and Mohammed Baba Idris JSC sat and had the appeal. The lead judgment was written by Manana brother John Ian Okoro JSC, and I read this judgment on his behalf. The appeal is against the judgment of the Court of Appeal, Abuja holding at Abuja, in appeal number CA-ABJ-CV 2017-2024, delivered on the 17th day of January 2025, against the judgment of the Federal High Court in suit number FHC-ABJ-CS 1271-2024, commenced by the first respondent at the trial court, wherein the suit at the trial court was struck out for want of jurisdiction. The facts that led to the appeal has been captured in the body of the judgment. Having reviewed the arguments of counsel, the court unanimously agreed as follows. The court held inter alia that the court below, having found that the first respondent's main relief was relief number 5, which was predicated on the leadership of the first respondent and thus not justiciable, strayed beyond jurisdiction into the realm where even angels dread to tread, to pronounce Barrister Julius Abure as the national chairman of the first respondent. Their lordships of the lower court were wrong to so do. The principles of law applicable here is as expressed in the Latin maxim that no one puts something on nothing and expects it to stand. The first respondent suit at the trial court had no legs to stand in the circumstances and deserves to be struck out. Allow me just at this point to reiterate the tried position of the law that if a court of law is bereft of jurisdiction to attain the main relief in an action, you do not have the jurisdiction to attain the ancillary claim, and moreover, if the ancillary claim will inevitably involve a discussion of the main claim, as in this case, Situkur and Government of Gongola State. The 3 issues submitted for determination are hereby jointly resolved in favor of the appellants. In summary, both the trial court and the court below had no jurisdiction to entertain the suit of this first respondent, which main relief, as they both rightly observed, was inserted as relief number 5 as though it was an appendage. Consequent upon the foregoing, the decisions of both the trial court and the court below, recognizing Barrister Julius Abure as the national chairman of the first respondent, are hereby set aside. And suit number FHC ABJ CS 1271-2004 is hereby struck out for want of jurisdiction. In the same vein, the first respondent's cross appeal in appeal number SC CV 56A 2025, being an offshoot of the same judgment of the court below, is hereby dismissed. Before I'm done, may I admonish political parties and their members to endeavor to always allow their constitutions, rules, regulations, and guidelines to guide them in choosing their officers as well as candidates. That way, incessant internal rifts which always find their way to court will be reduced. If the constitution of a political party has prescribed duration for tenure of office of an officer, such officer should be humble enough to leave at the expiration of the tenure. In the final analysis, we found the appeal to be meritorious. The appeal is allowed. Parties shall bear their respective course. As the appeal allowed. That was the unanimous judgment of the court. My noble Lord, we are very grateful for this judgment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So remember, it was Abure that actually took the case to court. All right. And then the court is telling them there that the matter of internal affairs of a party, right, is primarily the responsibility of the party. It's not that of the court. So the two courts, the primary court as well as the appeal courts, where Abure got judgment, they had no jurisdiction. So the announcement, or should I say, the establishment of caretaker committee for Labour Party led by Nenandi Usman, according to that judgment, seems to have been the authentic, recognized party executive for Labour Party. The wala continues though, right? It's just on the side. Another wahala was when this supposed lawyer shared this video.
Yeah, we are here in the court. I say case lórí bá ṣe fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ti àwọn ilé kéwú pa nílẹ̀ Yorùbá àti pa a dẹ̀ ti wà lórí a ti wà ní second sitting báyìí lórí ìtì gbogbo àwọn ilé kéwú pa ilé kéwú tán ti ń kọ́ wọn bọ́n ṣe ń bẹ́rí olórí ó ti yé yín.
That's going to be another wahala coming, because we all know the position of the Yorubas when it comes to this political Sharia, okay, where we believe there is a plan to push for religious sort of crisis in Yoruba land. So Yoruba land is a place where everyone is actually free to practice their religion, right, without any form of hindrance or discrimination. So that case, I don't think is in any way in good faith. The reason is this. If we say we don't want Sharia in Yoruba land, for example, all right, it is simply because we do not want to hand over power to some group of religious extremists who will then hide behind religion to perpetuate all form of, criminality, name it. Right? But people still have the right to choose if they want to send their children to go and learn about Quranic this, or they want to learn about this religion or that religion, until they break any law, right? They always have the right to, practice their religion the way they think. So that's why I said wahala is coming. But again, when I heard that, I was like, among all the wahalas that we are currently facing, there is an ongoing court case to begin to close all Quranic schools in Yoruba land. That is what the guy said. There are those who are going to say, hey, but that is controversial. Do you understand? I mean, that is like a direct target of their religion. So if you feel strong about this Islam, this or that, right? The most you can do is to make sure that, yeah, people can practice whatever they choose to without them having to impose any of their own ideology or whatever narrative or agenda on any of us. We can resist that. But we shouldn't be the instigator, in my own opinion. So when I saw that, I was like, this one, it hasn't really got into the mainstream yet. But in another 1 week or two, there may be a judgment. Some are saying it's just waste of time. It's never going to pass. And I feel so too, right? But this is needless, in my own opinion. It is needless. But I do understand everyone's biases and sentiment also. Talking about biases and sentiments, right? This that Devulumai actually said in this latest interview, right? Talking about his coastal road and those who have been condemning it, and why it is an achievement, a milestone for Tinubu to be able to go and commission 30 kilometers out of a 750 kilometers project this time. To Devulumai, right? Like I said, if this could be classified as a blasphemy, has repeated that statement that, his coastal road is so beautiful that he doesn't know or have a clue what the road to heaven looks like. But a doubt if it's going to be anything as beautiful as the Coastal Road. So they are giving themselves awards, right?